Hi, this is Trepacer. Welcome to Trepacer's Saturday Horror Reviews, episode 49, I believe. And as mentioned in my blog, this morning, I watched a horror movie and bought this yesterday from Barnes& and Noble. It's a Dario Argentina film, and I'm trying to build up my horror collection. And this is a movie that came out in 1970. It's just called The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Now, there were a bunch of error releases for these films, and I meant to get I even had Phenomenon, but they were out of print. The one with the windows, slip covers and stuff. Those are out of print now, and I kind of got distracted by other things. But this is a movie that I've been wanting to see because I read up the scenarios for a bunch of his films. Okay, and this one came out in 1970, and this stars Tony Masante and Susie Kendall. Okay, Tony Masante. I think he's an American actor, and he had a TV show I think back in the 70s called. He was like a detective, I think, or a private detective or something like that in the 70s. Sort of like Beretta, almost in a way. Anyway, this movie takes place in Italy, and it's about an American writer, played by Tony Masante. He's has a girlfriend, or a British girlfriend, and they live together. And he's about to leave Italy because he came to Italy to write because he couldn't write, and he was able to find start writing again after a long period of time. And he's first published his book, and he's basically in a few days he's going to go back to the States. Okay, one night when he's coming home, his girlfriend's away, but she's coming back. He's he's walking across the street, and he sees from across the street a gallery, and he sees through the two people struggling on a staircase, on the top of a staircase, and he runs across the street. He's bangs on the glass door to try to get their attention because he sees them struggling with a knife involved, and he manages to get through the first. There's the two like levels of glass, and he manages to get through the first glass, the sliding door, but then he's like trapped in behind the in the middle of the glass, and he's banging on it trying to the tension, and they see these two people struggling, and the lady gets stabbed, and the figure that's in the leather and a hat manages to jump down the stairs and runs away, and he's banging on the door, and the lady that got stabbed is slowly looking, she's crawling and she's trying to get to the glass, I guess, to let him in, but he's banging on the door telling her, how do I get in? How do I get in to help you? And she's barely struggling, and she basically passes out. And so he basically turns around back to the street glass and is banging on the glass telling people somebody to, and he managed to catch this one guy walking by, and he manages to tell him to call the police. And they do, and then the police arrive, and they release him from in between the two glass, partitions. And he finds out that this lady that got stabbed, she's alive, and actually, the cops credit him for coming and getting their attention. He thinks he saved their life, and the gallery owner comes by, and he's wanting to know what happened to his wife. And they said, well, she got stabbed. This guy here, he saved her. And they go to the hospital, and the cops, want to interview, this American writer played by Tony Masante to find out, what do you know? And he basically says, listen, I was walking across the street. I saw the two people struggling. I, ran across the street, banged on them, and managed to get through the first level. And then I got closed on behind me, and I was trapped between the two levels. I couldn't really get to them. And he said, I couldn't really see any. And, I just saw the people struggling, and I saw the person get stabbed, and I saw the other figure, the dark raincoat figure jump down and run off. He said, but I can't. But he said something was off about that scene. I just can't put it together, but something was off. And the inspector tells him, listen, well, there's been these other incidents, and we think this is a part of these. He's been other murders, actually, and we think this is a part of it. And he says, and they ask him, what are you here for? He said, I'm a writer, and I'm getting ready to go back to America. And he said, well, let me see your passport. They take his passport, and he said, we're going to hold this thing for now because you know something. You just can't remember it right now, but we're going to hold it. Of course, he's upset at first, but then the writer starts investigating the cases, the cases himself, and he starts looking for clues and stuff, and on the previous murders, and you try to find out what's happening. And he gets, he basically starts playing amateur detective, and trying to figure out, what these murders are about. And it's a really good movie, a good atmosphere. There's a lot of good tension in it, and they actually show other attacks that are going on at the same time as well. Okay, and you have this deranged killer who basically calls and and taunts the cops and calls and even taunts the writer to to keep his nose out of his business, or something's going to happen to him or his girlfriend. And it's a really good movie. Like I said, you get good acting in it, and just good tension, and the music adds to it as well. And it was a really really good thriller, good horror thriller. I thought it was really nice. Like I said, you have the writer picking up clues, interviewing different people to find out what's going on, and then you have the attacks also going on at the same time, and you're wondering who the killer is, and will the writer figure out who it is before he gets killed or something. And I really enjoyed this. I'm going to give The Bird with the Crystal Summit Plummage a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely highly recommend it. Like I said, I'm going to try to get more of these Dario Argentino's films, because I like the whole, like I said, the whole, killer thing, and with this, the writers trying to figure it out and try to help the cops, and at the same time you have other attacks going on, and you're wondering who the killer is. It was good. I really enjoyed it, so I'm definitely highly recommend it. 7 out of 10 for me for The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Anyway, let me know what you think of The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trepacer saying so long and take care.